Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone had a great week. I hope you're having a good day. Last weekend, oh my goodness, it was Easter Sunday and we had such a beautiful service, although, we did it over the phone, and it was close, it's close to perfect as you can get, and, just a lovely day. And then when nighttime came, we had storms, we had tornadoes that did so much damage, in different areas of the city and across, the 3 states. And it was just, you would think that, Easter started perfectly, that it would end that way. But, everything is in God's hands, so He knows what He's doing. And, we just have to be thankful, for those of us who made it through that storm. There will be others too, but, we just have to depend on God to get us through every trial and every storm. So on that note, I want to go ahead and get started with today's show. And so the title of today's show is The Way We Were, and the topic is the ever-changing publishing industry. Now, we are all familiar with the analogy, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, I'm here to tell you this no longer applies. In many ways, the entire world has changed, and I doubt that it will ever be the same again, some good and bad. We are experiencing events of which many of us have never seen before, and perhaps is only the start of future events to come. But let's talk about the good and leave the bad and ugly on the back burner for now. So in many aspects, the publishing industry has taken a different direction in ways today's writers and authors can be thankful. No longer are you limited by the previous stipulations and entry into this industry by impossible guidelines of the past. Now, there's an easier path to obtaining your publishing dreams. Self-publishing has really kicked the door wide open for indie authors who have always dreamed of not only writing a book, but publishing one also. For all the world's aspiring authors, the change you might not have been waiting for or even knew existed is open and ready for you to display your talents. Through indie portals such as Amazon KDP, Smashwords, and Google Books, these are your avenues to living your dreams. And so now you have a clear path. And, the thing about Amazon and the KDP, that has been around for a good long while. And when it first started out, now I don't know about Smashwords and Google Books. I don't know how long they've been out there, but Amazon, I do know for a fact, has been out there for a while. And a lot of people were utilizing that service, but now Amazon KDP has changed so much. It's like they've upped their, the game has been up with them. And the process is so much easier and is so much better. They give you the app that you can use. All you need to do is to you download the app, and then you open it in your word processor. And so it takes you through step by step everything that you need to do as far as formatting your text, and also when it comes to designing the book cover. If you don't have an existing book cover, or one that you've purchased from someone who actually does that, they also have templates that you can use. Well, the whole Amazon KDP process is a template, but they also have the templates for book cover design that you can also use, with the specifications that you need to get everything set up. So that's wonderful. And Smashwords pretty much works the same way, and in Google Books as well. They also work that way. So, as I said, the door is like just been kicked off the hinges as far as indie publishing is concerned. For all of those, talented writers out there, who faced, rejection from the traditional publishers, for one reason or another. But now you don't have to contend with that anymore. So, and previously books moved through intermediaries and sales departments, and now both have shrunken thanks to indie publishers. In the past, for consideration of your book as being marketable, you need a reputable publishing agency backing you. And now you don't need that. You don't have to have an agent. You don't have to submit your work to traditional publishers unless you want to go that route. But if you want to, just get started, you can start with Amazon, because they have so many talented authors that are out there. The books that you can get that are Kindle, or you can get the paper books or the hardbacks. Whichever way you want to read the book, you can get them. And a lot of the books are just wonderful, and and affordable. Now, especially with the economy being the way it is, with so many people out of work and laid off for one reason or another, due to cutbacks and things of that nature. Everybody can afford to go and buy a book, but on Amazon through KDP, if you have the Kindle, what is it? Where you can go to Amazon and you can read the books. If you have the Kindle app, and if you have if you have Amazon, one of those memberships where you can actually read as many books as you want. Kindle Unlimited, that's what I was trying to think of. If you have Kindle Unlimited, then you can get up to 10 books for free, as long as you pay for that subscription to Kindle Unlimited. And it's not expensive at all. And for me, it's worth it because, if you weigh it against actually purchasing a book straight out, whether it's a Kindle book or if it's a paperback, how expensive that can be. But, you can pay the membership instead, and then you can download up to 10 books. And some of them actually come with Audible, so you don't even have to pay for that. If you select the books that come with the Audible, with the book. Those are great things, and it's very practical now for those of us who really can't afford to go and buy a book. But if you can get one for free, then this is the way to do it. And and it helps those authors who are indie publishers, who are trying to sell their books on this site. It helps them out. Even if you're not purchasing the book, if you're just reading it, they still get paid. So it's a win-win, and it's a wonderful thing. So I am so thankful, on so many different levels that that now we can do this. And aren't you glad that indie publishers are now part of this respected category? I am. Now, what was once considered exclusive has now become inclusive, not because they accepted every author with open arms, but because the competition has forced them to reconsider unagented authors worthy as those with agents. Now, let me add this footnote. Indie publishing is wonderful, but it was designed for writers who couldn't catch a break with traditional publishers, and not for those who aren't serious about this business and only want bragging rights or titles. So those of you who this applied to, you know who I'm talking to. So, but we've come a long way and still have a journey ahead of us. But again, the path is clearer and broader than before. Also, here's something more to consider when deciding which indie publisher is best for you. Once upon a time, Amazon sales were 20 to 30% of the market. Now they are more than half and continue to increase as they offer and sign big name authors to their publishing brand. So if you have I don't want to say name brand authors, but big name authors, those that are bestsellers and things of that nature, when you have them leaving the traditional route and moving to Amazon, that speaks volumes. It's a tale, for those of us who have waited for an opportunity like this to come around, to write our books and to publish our books, because, for most writers, that was such a stumbling block. They put their heart and soul into writing these books, and then, they meet this wall to where, they were sending their books out to different publishing agencies trying to go the traditional route. And, and sometimes, you may get a response from them, and other times you don't, So with this, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, you want to make sure that you keep the same guidelines as if you were submitting your work to a traditional publisher, because, your work is your calling card. It's as much your calling card as your word being your bond, or being a bond. So it's important to make sure that you stay to those same standards as far as writing and editing. You want to make sure that your work is as perfect as possible. So you want to stick to those guidelines, even though you're going to be doing everything yourself, but still you want to put your best foot forward. You want to make sure that that the work that you're putting out there, or the product that you're putting out there, is as close to perfect as you can get it, because all it takes is one book that has not been edited properly to ruin you, even if it is a self-publishing work. And because to me, self-publishing is equal to traditional publishing, especially when you are a serious author or a serious writer, and you want your work to be respected. So you have to make sure that you're sticking to those guidelines to ensure that you will be a respected writer. Because your book could be the next one that could become the next great book. It could become a bestseller. And so you want to make sure that you've put that, along with those blood, sweat, and tears, you've made sure that that book is in tip-top shape. And every other work that you put out there, you want to make sure that you follow those same guidelines. Don't ever get lax in what you do just because you don't have to, jump through all of these hoops to, as if you were going through the traditional, but you want to make sure that the quality and everything else is maintained as if you were going the traditional route, as if you were having editors looking at your work from those publishing companies. You want to make sure that you do that, because trust me, the readers are the editors, when it comes to chopping up your book. If they're not happy with the way that it was written, as far as mistakes and things of that nature, trust me, they will. Even if you're fortunate enough to get a review from them, you want that review to be good. You don't want it to be filled with, all of these little, picks and digs, saying that, well, I could have respected this work more if it wasn't for blah, blah, blah. So, you know where I'm going with that. So remember, change is good and is necessary as we evolve from one level to the next. All right, folks, so that is our show for today. But before I let you go, I want to make sure that I give you these URLs. Okay, so of course the first one is my Spreaker account, and it is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian Moore. You can also find me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me on Twitter under God's Property 46, and Instagram is God's Property 51. Facebook, you can just type in Vivian Moore and author Vivian Moore, and you can find me there. Also, if you want to visit my website, now I have 2 websites up and working. And the first one, of course, is https://www.authorvivianmoore.com. authorvivianemore.com. And then the second one is that same HTTPS, but it is author ehshepard.com. So there you go. And E.H. Shepard is just my pseudonym. I just wanted to try something different. As far as publishing goes, I wanted to publish under, my real name and also my pseudonym. So there you go. I'm one in the same. And also, if you follow my blog, you can go there at https://vivianemore.blogspot.com. And also, as well as listening to the show on Spreaker, you can listen to it on iTunes. You can listen to it on SoundCloud, also YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and also Podchaser. So there you go, folks. All the ways that you can tune in to Book Chat. If you don't listen to it every Saturday at 6 p.m., you can definitely listen to the recorded episodes that go all the way back, I think almost 3 years now. So there are plenty episodes to listen to get you all caught up. And again, I appreciate you so much for listening to the show, for downloading all of the episodes. I appreciate you so very much. When I get to the 10,000 mark, I'm going to have a celebration. So I think that'll be worth celebrating. And I may be getting near to it, so I probably need to check it just to make sure, so that way I can inform you when that happens and we can celebrate together. And also, tomorrow's worship day. And I know a lot of churches are doing drive-in services. That ban has been lifted for them to be able to do that, as long as individuals stay inside of their cars and they're not, touching collection plates and things of that nature. They want to keep people safe. They want you to be able to go out, and worship, but they also want to keep you safe, and those that are around you also safe. But we will continue to do it, through the phone lines. And a lot of people do it through Facebook Live, and they also FaceTime it, So there are different ways to, get the Sunday messages, and I hope you will utilize that, as well as, invite family members and friends and neighbors to join in with you, just by giving them, the code that you use to get in. They don't need to come to your house. They can do it from the convenience of their own homes. And also tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised, just as last Sunday showed us. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.